From sewing, stitching, and hemming, you've seen this campus-made mogul strutting around Hampton University and on your Instagram feed. It's Christopher Smith.
Yeah, I think that's like the first thing that people usually approach me over. It's like usually like, oh, I like your outfit, or like, where'd you get that?
Smith is a third-year architecture major who happens to be a rising star in the fashion industry.
I definitely think that architecture is kind of an enabler of my creativity, and I'm also surrounded by so many talented people, so I feel like I'm always getting new inspiration every day.
His love for fashion even found him love in his life, meeting his girlfriend, Zoe Rose, over one of his creations.
I remember I DM'd him about some pants that he was wearing. And I was like, oh, like they were carpet pants. And I was like, oh, where did you get these pants from? Me and my friend have been looking everywhere, like we want pants like that. And he was like, oh, I made them.
Christopher's designs have been featured in every homecoming fashion show since his freshman year. Working in Bemis, the architecture building on campus, for 6 hours and creating 3-tier pants is not easy. Hampton University is his home by the sea, but there's just one place he loves a little bit more.
Yeah, I just love home because of familiarity and just being around people I love and like the environment that I'm, most like familiar with, obviously.
Because he's surrounded by his family, he's with his dad, he has access to that creativity and that time where he can sort of look inward and not worry about being a student. He can just be a creative.
So we went home, Atlanta, the place where Christopher Smith's creativity thrives the most. And in this beautiful home is his infamous studio where he's created the most thought-provoking pieces. Let's take a look.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Chris.
You come on in. So this is a picture of my dad when he was younger and all of his brothers, but a lot of people say that I look just like him. I mean, y'all can figure that out, but I don't think so, but a lot of people say that.
Chris's creativity is his own, but his dad is his biggest inspiration.
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful to have him in my life, especially as I'm growing through my sewing career and fashion stuff. But beyond that, he's always just been kind of like a rock for me, like someone I can always look up to and like try to impersonate as much as I can.
Tamiko Smith was born in South Carolina. Living with 13 siblings, Tamiko Smith came from humble beginnings that inspired his unconventional creativity.
And he always hated going to school with like holes in his pants because that's like back then it was seen as something like, oh, like he's poor, like, oh, he doesn't like have nice clothes and stuff. So because he felt that why should I go buy something that was going to get messed up and keep fixing when I can make my own thing and, look better than everyone else. His words. But
When did you look at your dad and notice he's really cool? Like he's making all of this fashion stuff. Maybe I want to do that. When did that happen?
Yeah, so I came down here and he was in the middle of sewing. I kind of just sat there and like watched him do his thing. And like I found myself sitting there for like 3 hours and he had made a bag already. And that's when I asked him to like teach me and like to learn how to. These are the first designs that I ever did, and my dad always keeps these up. They're kind of embarrassing, but
His relationship with his dad turned into a nationwide fashion career. Wow. Christopher's designs were featured in the HBCU Sustainable Fashion Showcase at the French Embassy in Washington, D.C.
I was notified like 2 days before.
Whoa.
With my models, I told them to, if you want to mix up the looks or anything like that, or, implement your own style. And that really helped out because some of the outfits looked way better once they put their own personality in. And that's when I want my clothes to kind of reflect.
His interest in sustainability began with visits to thrift stores.
The main reason I like coming here is for Ragorama, which is my favorite thrift store, hands down, because there's so many things you can get here to elevate your style. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like looking for because it's like a unique silhouette. So I try to like, whenever I'm shopping or thrifting, like I try to like look for those real like standout pieces,
Christopher says thrifting is a joyful pastime today, but growing up, loving fashion wasn't always easy.
Like a lot of people will associate like your sexuality and gender and stuff like that with the way you dress, even though they really have nothing to do with each other. So like a lot of people would like call me gay when I was younger and stuff like that. I really wish I didn't. let a lot of that affect me when I was younger.
Now, Christopher recognizes the gift of confidence his father gave him and makes it his mission to give that same confidence to others.
I definitely think that when it comes to being your own person, you have to take getting called weird and odd as a compliment. That means you're doing something right. That means you're not doing what everyone else is doing. And that's kind of what I had to change my mentality to.
Reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Morgan Norris.